Hello students. Yesterday we have seen some important topics regarding to the chapter atom, and also we have seen cases for the atomic models, and also I think there is no confusion while we are talking about the atomic model. Just step by step try to understand it, like I just told you that start from the Thomson model and try to understand what is the advantage of Thomson model and what were the discrepancies, so that we needed a new model. So if we need a new model, then what is the extra factor that is added in to remove the discrepancies of the previous model. So try to understand these factor in step, then you will be able to understand easily what are the improvement while we are just designing a new atomic model to explain the properties of atom. Clear? So I think that factor is already clear to you, like for the Rutherford model, for the Bohr model, we have just seen all these cases. Also actually there are some discrepancies in the case of Bohr model when we comes to the level of the quantum level, like if we are talking about the fine structure, then fine structure, Zeeman splitting, there are a number of things actually, Stark effect, then all these things could not be explained with the help of Bohr model, but still Bohr model was able to explain the spectrum of hydrogen, but only the normal spectrum of hydrogen, actually emission spectrum of hydrogen, it explained easily. But when it comes to the topic of fine structure, then it failed completely there. So after that, even Sommerfeld tried to remove the discrepancies of Bohr model also. So here you don't have to study that, but still the classical concept of the spectrum and other things, that is totally explained by the Bohr model. Means we can easily understand even the spectroscopic term by using this model. Okay? So first of all, what is spectrum? You know already, we have learned this already in the chapter. So the spectrum is nothing but when suppose that if number of radiations that are coming out from any surface, and every radiation has a property, means it's so atomic spectra can be easily explained on the basis of Bohr model. Like a spectrum is that if radiations are coming out from any surface, then obviously you know that they will have the different energies, and due to their different energy they will have the different frequency. As you know that the energy of the radiation or electromagnetic radiation, that is equal to E is equal to h nu. So nu will be different, means frequency of radiation that will be different, and based on that there will be some different wavelengths also. So if we arrange the different wavelengths in the increasing order or decreasing order, or the wavelength of that radiation increase or decrease order, then we will get a certain picture, certain diagram, that is known as the spectrum. Means for any particular atom, for any particular radiation, there is, if we arrange this in the increasing or decreasing order of frequency or wavelength, then a picture that is constituted, that is constructed, that is known as spectrum. Like in very simple manner we can understand it easily by the spectrum of white light. As you have already seen the rainbow in which 7 colors are just separated, or they are arranged in the order, then in that order we have seen that they are in the increasing order of frequency or decreasing order of wavelength, or in any way. So here the arrangement of wavelength or frequency we have seen, so that is known as the spectrum of white light. So here everywhere where when we are talking about the spectrum, then obviously there will be some arrangement in the frequency or wavelength we will obtain. So particularly I think the concept of spectrum, that is clear to you. And again, how many types of spectrums we have? So first of all we have two types of major spectrum, that is emission spectrum and absorption spectrum. So what is the case first is that is emission spectrum. So emission spectrum is that it is an atom that is goes to any higher atomic energy state, and after 10 power minus 8 second, you know that it will automatically come to its down or normal state, and obviously a difference of energy that will be radiated from it. From Bohr model we know already that the atoms, obviously that can be their energy means their subcells or atomic states that can be represented by some lines, and these lines are we can say or call these lines as the energy levels. Like suppose that we, if for sodium or for any other actually term, we have the electronic configuration that is 2p6ds1. so this is the electronic configuration for the sodium we have, and in this case we have different types of subcells, and if you see that in n equal to 1 there is one subcell, so we can represent this one as by a single line. So this is also represent the same thing, but still for the spectroscopic representation we don't represent it by its spherical shape or other shape, but we represent it by some lines, and these lines are known as energy levels in this case. So I think there is no confusion in that why we are representing it. So as we can represent the atomic levels by the energy levels and by the lines, then obviously from Bohr's law and Rutherford's law we know that whenever an electron jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit, then it emits energy that is equal to the difference of energy between these two levels. So suppose that this is n equal to 1 level, this is n equal to 2, this is n equal to 3, n equal to 4. So such types of levels we have, and now particle is in this n is equal to 4 level. Then this particle can transmit or transit from n equal to 4 to n equal to 3, n equal to 4 to n equal to 2, n equal to 4 to n equal to 1. So if it will transmit from here to here, here to here, and here to here, then obviously a difference of energy that will be radiated from here, and obviously in the emission of this radiation here, radiated means emission process that is taking place, and in the emission process we are seeing that here different energy that is emitting. So if energies that are emitting that are different, then definitely the wavelength and frequency also that will be different according to the transitions of the electron that is just coming from higher orbit to lower orbit. So this types of spectrum, if you suppose that in the emission of radiation, if you arrange them in the increasing or decreasing order of frequency or increasing or decreasing order of wavelength, then the picture that is obtained, that you know that already it is called spectrum, and if it is just obtained by the emission of radiation, then such types of spectra is known as emission spectrum. In the same way, suppose that if any electron or any atom that is getting energy and goes to higher orbit state, and if you are seeing that the energy it is absorbing and you can arrange them in the order of frequency or wavelength, then such types of spectrum that is known as absorption spectrum, as here absorption process that is taking place, means an absorption of energy is taking place, and in case of emission of energy that is taking place. So in first of all, two types of spectrum we have, that is both types of spectra, I think that is clear to you. And again these two spectra has two more categories. First is line spectrum or continuous spectrum. First of all, let's see that there are so many actually things. First continuous spectrum and discrete spectrum or discontinuous spectrum. So if you can see that the spectrum that is obtained or frequency that we are obtaining, that has a range, means suppose if it is started from the nu equal to some value, suppose 4, and it is just ended to nu equal to 8, then if we will get every possible value of nu between this for the frequency, then you can see that it will just look like just this band. So here continuous spectrum that is obtained in which a range of frequency or wavelength is obtained, such that you can take the example of spectrum of white light. In the white light spectrum in the rainbow system, you have seen that the lights or colors we are getting, that are not separated, that are just started from one range and that ended to one range, and all the colors lie in that. So here we are seeing that a continuous spectrum we are obtaining. And suppose that if somewhere we are just getting a frequency nu equal to 4, after that we are getting frequency nu equal to 6, after that we are getting nu equal to 7, and so on. So in this way, the values between 4 to 6, there are no emission that is taking place for nu equal to 5, nu equal to 4.1, nu equal to 4.2. Means for all these values, no emission is taking place. So in this case, only one emission we have obtained, that is for the nu equal to 4 or for the nu equal to 6, for the nu equal to 7. So in this way, you can see that a discrete spectrum we are getting in this way if we arranged it in the increasing or decreasing order of frequency. So if a range of frequencies or wavelength that is obtained, or continuity we are seeing, then such types of spectra are known as continuous spectrum. It can be obtained in both of the cases. Either it will be emission spectra or absorption spectra. And again, if some discrete spectrum is obtained, means spectrum we are obtaining that are separated by some distance, means we are getting spectra, then after some time we don't get any spectra, after some time we are getting again it. So in the such manner, if we are getting it, then it will call simple discontinuous spectra or discrete spectra. And again, the spectra are of also two types, line spectra and band spectra. So you can say this continuous spectra is just like here a band of spectrum that is formed here. You can see that it is just like the band, and this is known as band spectra. And here we are seeing that a line that is obtaining, so here this is called line spectra. So basically these are the categorization of the spectrum. If these names comes to you, then don't be confused what is line, what is band. Simple band spectra we will obtain when there will be a range of wavelength or frequencies we can obtain there, and a band is just we are seeing the band of wavelength or frequency, and here we can see a line of wavelength and frequency. So I think there is no confusion why we are studying the band spectra, line spectra, or continuous spectra, discontinuous spectra, and also what is emission spectra, what is absorption spectra. So if the primary thing about the spectrum that is clear to you, then here let's start the topic about the hydrogen spectrum. So in case of hydrogen, you know that the first atom that we has the hydrogen in which one electron we has. So and the electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1s1. So here for the spectroscopic term, this one electron is responsible. If this suppose that this one electron get energy from anywhere and goes to any of the higher states, then it will give us absorption spectra. And again, when it will return from higher states to this ground state, this normal state, then that time it will give us emission spectra. So in this way, from the single electron in the hydrogen atom, we get its spectra for the, and that lie or in the different region of the electromagnetic radiation, and you can just understand it very easily. For that, suppose that this is now n equal to 1 level, and we can just draw the levels, and you can just draw it like in this manner. As we know that the energy is that going on closer to closer when we go in the increasing order of n. Suppose that this is to infinite. So this is suppose n equal to 1 level, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. We have such types of levels for the hydrogen atom. And obviously there will be energies associated with these levels also. And in the normal state, ground state, this electron will be in this n equal to 1 state. Clear? The normal tendency of every atom to be in its ground state, then ground state you can obtain easily do the electronic configuration in the appropriate manner, and the last orbit will be its normal state, will be its ground state, valence state. There are a number of names of it, and the electron that is lying in that state, that is responsible for every phenomena. So either you are talking about the conduction phenomena, or you are talking about the spectroscopic phenomena, or simple other chemical phenomena that we are just talking about. So here we are just talking about the spectroscopic phenomena. Suppose that this electron gets energy from somewhere, and now it goes to any of the higher state, and after going to the higher state, here first see the emission spectrum of the hydrogen atom. After that, absorption spectrum I will also tell you, and even you have learned it already, but still let's see it. If suppose it goes to any of the higher state, then obviously you know that after 10 power minus 8 second, every atom, every electron has tendency to come to its ground state again. So it will comes to its ground state after 10 power minus 8 second. Then obviously here the transitions that can be obtained, and obviously if it is in any of the ground state, then it is not necessary that to come from to the n equal to 1, it can directly transit only from higher to this n equal to 1 level. It can follow the path. Suppose that it comes to this higher to this higher state, again is this higher state, again this higher state, again this, and this finally comes to n equal to 1 level. So this path can also be followed by it. So according to this you can categorize it easily. So suppose that we are taking the case when electron is making transition from higher to n equal to 1 level. So you can just draw it easily. Start to draw. Suppose that it comes from 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and so on. In this manner it comes to be. So here a series of lines we are getting. That series, obviously this will be a difference of energy we will obtain, and if you arrange this, then you will get a spectrum or series of lines in this case. And this series lines, because I am why saying lines, obviously you see that here the energies are discrete, they are the prescribed value they have. Then obviously there will be a prescribed value for frequency. There will be no range of means band picture that will not be obtained in case of atom, because atoms has discrete levels of energy. So obviously we will get discrete energy levels and discrete spectrum for that atoms. Clear? So in such a manner we can get a line here, and this line is known as, or this series is known as Lyman series. So the first series that is obtained, actually Lyman has discovered it, so that's why by after his name it is called Lyman series. Means if any of the electron from higher energy states that is making transition to the lower energy state n equal to 1, then the series of lines that are obtaining, that is known as Lyman series. And again suppose that if from higher energy states to lower energy state, when electron is making transition, then first it comes to n equal to 2 level. Then you can also rise the transition from for n equal to 2. Then such types of, obviously here also we will get again a series of wavelength or frequency. Then according to that a series of lines that is obtained. So this series is known as Balmer series, and this is obtained by scientist Balmer. Since that's after his name it is called Balmer series. Third series is if this is making transition from higher to n equal to 3 state, then third series is obtained. Fourth series then higher to this series, and fifth when higher to this state. Yeah. So in this way, with 5 mostly series we have obtained for the hydrogen atom. If electron is making transition from higher to n equal to 1 level, then we get Lyman series. If from higher to n equal to 2 level, then we get Balmer series. If from higher to n equal to 3 level, then we get Paschen series. And if higher to n equal to 4 level, then we get Brackett series. And if higher to n equal to 5, then we get Pfund series. So you can just write it here, Paschen series, Brackett series, and here Food series. So 5 series we have, and also these 5 series has different types of characteristics, as here obviously different energy states they have, different energies, different frequencies we are obtaining in this case. Then obviously if you see the frequency that is obtained here or wavelength that is obtained, that will be different. And here if in case of Lyman you see the frequency or wavelength that lies in the range of ultraviolet region. So if you see electromagnetic radiation and try to match in which range the radiation is lying, the emission spectra that is lying. So the Lyman series that lying in the ultraviolet region, the Balmer series that is lying that in the region of visible region, and all these 3 series that lies in the region of infrared region. This is lies in near infrared, infrared and far infrared. As the infrared region has a long range, so here we can just categorize it also in 3 parts: near infrared, infrared and far infrared. So in that way you can also categorize them easily. So this is the basic thing, and also you can calculate what is the value, minimum value and maximum value of frequency that we are obtaining here, so that you can obtain the range of it. Either it is only lying in the range of ultraviolet, or in other range it can also lie. You can confirm it, you can calculate it also. So in this way guys, I think the spectrum you can draw, and this spectrum, as you are seeing that this is discrete lines. So this is line spectra, this is emission spectra, this is discrete spectra, discontinuous spectra. So you don't have to be confused in that. You can understand easily by the drawing of energy level diagram. So this type of diagram that represent the transition of electrons or atoms from higher to lower or lower to higher, or you can say that the diagram that represent the spectrum of any atom, that is known as its energy level diagram. Here we have shown the energies level, and we are just making showing the transition of electrons that are making here. So with the help of it you can be easily understand the energy level diagram, and with the help of energy level diagram any spectra you can understand very easily. So as we have understood, how can we just describe the energy level diagram of hydrogen atom spectrum, and what is hydrogen spectrum, that is all clear to you. Simple, these are 5 series that is called hydrogen spectrum or emission spectrum of the hydrogen, and that lies in the different regions of electromagnetic radiation that has different frequencies. So how can we calculate frequency or wavelength? You know that Bose model helps us to calculate it easily. So both third postulate is that the if electron that is revolving around the nucleus in certain circular orbits, that makes transition from any higher state to lower state, then a difference of energy that is radiated from it. So if you see that, then it will be equal to h nu, that energy that will be equal to, suppose that higher energy state has energy E2 and lower energy state has energy E1, then this nu, or you can also convert it in terms of lambda or wavelength, then it will be equal to this. So here with the help of these two equations you can calculate what is the frequency or wavelength of the radiation that is emitted when any electron that is making transition from any of the higher state to the lower state. So for that we needed energy of these higher states, and even I just told you with the help of postulate we can easily calculate what is the radius of the orbit as the electrons are revolving around the nucleus into circular orbits, and that stationary orbits, obviously they will have some radius, it will have some the electron that is revolving, then it will have some velocity, time period. Then how can we calculate all these quantities? You know that very easily with the help of the concept of Coulomb interaction and centripetal force you can calculate easily. And also we have the first postulate, that is the angular momentum quantum number, angular momentum for the electron, that should be equal to the integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So based on these two factors you can calculate the radius of the orbit, and even we have calculated into in the very broad manner I have just explained you. So here I am not going to explain that mathematical part, because here we are just explaining the theoretical part one by one, and the conceptual part on which you are actually feeling the problem and the concepts in the fundamental part. So that's why we are making revisions on that. So mathematical part I am just I'm not going to do that here. So I think there is no even problem at all in that section. So with the help of that, we can easily calculate what is the energy of these energy levels, and we have just obtained this energy level equal to some or directly proportional to the 1 upon n square. With the help of that, we can calculate its wavelength also. So if you put the values here for hydrogen, I am just talking about its energy. That is directly inversely proportional, you can say that inversely proportional to n square, where n is the level, or you can say it always the quantum number, so equal to this. Clear? So if we put the value here in that term, then we have obtained the rest of the factors or rest of the constraint, that is also again represented by another constant Rydberg. And this is obviously, if this is first level, then n1 square minus second level n2 square. So this is the final expression for the wavelength that we have obtained if we put the value for the energy levels for the particular energy or particular electron that is revolving around the nucleus. Clear? So with the help of this equation, if suppose that any electron that is making transition from this higher stage 3 to 2, then in that case the n2 that is here, that is 3, n2 as n1 that is 1, means the level to which it is transiting and level from which it is transiting, that is n2. So in this equation, if you put n1 is equal to 2 or n2 equal to 3, then in that case energy will be radiated, and that radiation has the wavelength that can calculated by this equation easily. So let's calculate that. What will be value? How can you calculate the minimum and maximum energy, minimum and maximum wavelength, minimum and maximum frequency of the particular series of hydrogen atom also? So if you see that suppose that 2 and 3 we have just taken here, so what will be lambda in this case? The value of lambda that will be equal to 1 upon n1 square, that is 2 square 4, minus 1 upon n2 square, that means 9. So after solution we will get 5r by 36 here. Clear? And from this you can calculate what is the value of lambda, that is equal to 36 upon 5r. Means if you put the value of Rydberg constant here, then after putting it we can calculate what is the wavelength of the radiation that is emitted from here. So with the help of this Bohr model, even we can calculate this one thing also. We can give the knowledge about the energy levels, what is the energy and what is the other factors for it. And also I suppose that you want to calculate the maximum energy or minimum thing. So minimum energy that will be obtained, suppose that for Lyman series we are talking. So in case of Lyman, the final state that is for every electron that is making transition, that has a final state 1. Clear? And also it can make transition from any half of the higher state, like n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to 4, n equal to 5 and so on. Means the higher energy state that can be n equal to infinite. So for simplification you can see tell that it's the electron is coming from n equal to infinity. Then in that case you can obtain the maximum energy, and in that case you can obtain minimum energy. And if you take also minus sign, then for that minus sign you will be obtain the just reverse order Maxwell energy. So don't be confused with that factor. Actually the energy we obtained here, that is minus of 13.6 in upon n square. So greater will be the minus sign, less will be the energy here. So if that is coming from that to infrared to M1, then energy will be less. Don't think that it will be greater. So first of all, even if you want to calculate extreme points, extreme values, then you can calculate it. Like first the transition that is possible, that is from n equal to 2 to 1, clear? And the highest possible transition, that is infinite to 1. So try to solve the same formula by the same method for these two values. So these two values give us the range of wavelength, means the all other frequency or all other wavelength that will lie between obviously these two points, these two range. Means this define the extreme of the Lyman series, and if you see that extremes in which region it is lying, then you will find that it lies in the region of ultraviolet. Both of the point means the minimum or maximum, both of the points that are lying in the ultraviolet region, means there is no any other region in case of Lyman series. So whole of the Lyman series that lying in the region of ultraviolet region. And obviously these things you can do for the Balmer series. For Balmer series we know that the minimum energy that states, that is n equal to 2 here. So if particle is making or electron is making transition from any of the higher state to n equal to 2 level, then in that case we obtain the Balmer series. So here the particles that can transmit from higher energy states like n equal to 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on to the infinity. So minimum energy or maximum energy that can be obtained with the help of, if it will make transition from 3 to 2, then it will provide us, just neglect the minus sign first, it will provide us minimum energy. And if you take it infinite to this point 2, this will provide us maximum energy. And if you put minus sign, then order will be reverse here, clear? So but here only just we want to calculate the extreme 2 points, means we want to get the region for the Balmer series region, for in which region it is lying. And after calculation of these two factors, the lambda if you will calculate, so you will see that this lambda is lying in the region of visible light. Both extremes are lying in the region of visible light. It means that it will totally lie only within the visible region. Similar things you can apply to the Paschen series, like here n equal to 3 level is the lowest region, and electron can transit from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to infinity, it can transit. And again for here the two extreme points can be obtained from 4 to 3 and also infrared to 3. So you can see that it will lie in the region of infrared. Again for the bracket series you can see that here the n equal to 4 is the lowest region, means particle will make transition from 5, 6, 7, 8 to infinity from that levels to the n equal to 4 level. So here the minimum that is obtained from 5 to 4, and the range other stream is obtained from infinite to 4. And in the way for Pund you can observe it, like here the minimum level to which electron can transit, that is n equal to 5. So n equal to 5 is fixed, then obviously particle or electron can transit from n equal to 6, 7, 8 or to infinite. From infinite it can make transition. So the maximum range that can be obtained with the help of if it is making transition from 6 to 5 and also infinite to 5, then from this thing you can get the extreme 2 points, and obviously you will see that these points are lying in the region of far infrared region. So similarly a region range that can be defined for the hydrogen level spectrum, and even you can know everything with the help of Bohr model easily, then how the transitions, how the wavelength, how their range can be defined, in which range they are lying, how can we calculate it, how can we observe it, how can we understand it. So I think this concept, the spectrum concept of hydrogen, that is totally clear to you. So we have just today discussed the hydrogen level hydrogen atom spectrum totally. So I think guys there is no confusion at all to you. Then in next class we will see other spectrums like some atomic spectrum and X-ray spectrum. So let's do that in next class. So here today let's end the class here, guys.